Welcome to a special edition of the Backlot 605 podcast. I am Casey,
I'm Brian.
and today we are joined by Tadd Good from the Snake Alley Festival of Film. Now, Tadd, he is the festival director. Tadd, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Good.
Doing pretty good.
Yeah, so you are on the exact opposite side of where the closest part of Iowa would be to us. But nonetheless, we want to talk about the Snake Alley Film Festival this year because, you know what, it's only a 6.5 hour drive to Burlington from Sioux Falls. So basically, I just want to start off with the first question. What exactly is the Snake Alley Film Festival?
Well, we're in our 8th year this year, and what I sort of describe it as, it's pretty simple. It's a short film festival. Sometimes we do have features, sometimes we have guests, but it really is a celebration of short film. That's where we started, and that's sort of where we've kept it for the last 8 years. Last year we had 2 features. This year we don't have any features, but I would say it's just sort of a celebration of short film and also short screenplays.
So what has been your favorite part of doing the Snake Alley Film Festival? Have you been around since the beginning?
Well, I attended the first 3, and my first year I just sort of dabbled in it, came as a spectator and saw a few blocks because I was curious. The second year I came to almost everything and saw everything and got to meet the former director and his cast and crew and everybody that was working on it. And then by the third year I was volunteering and I was a judge and was helping out with it. Little did I know I was being groomed to be the next director because, after the third year, the founder sort of approached me and asked if I wanted to take over. So that's sort of how that works. And I've been doing it this will be my 5th year.
Nice.
No, that seems pretty cool. So I'm assuming you've been a film fan your whole life then?
Oh, yeah. Definitely since I was a little kid. I have an older brother that showed me a lot of stuff I probably shouldn't have been shown when I was little, but, hung out in the room or snuck in and watched movies with him and just sort of found a love for film in general.
What would you say that moviegoers would expect to get out of the film festival that they wouldn't find anywhere else?
Well, what's really unique and cool about this film festival, we show just about anything besides, I think the only things we don't show are sort of commercial shorts, so anything that's filmed as commercials. So what's unique about this is it's films ranging from 1 second to 45 minutes. That's our limit as length. But we have, like I said, every kind of genre, including documentary, animation. We have horror. We have comedy, even music videos. I would say the animation and music videos sort of sets us apart from a lot of the short festivals. And we also, another thing that's unique to our festival is the short screenplay table reads. So we narrow down from several selections. We pick our finalists for the best short screenplay, and then someone on our crew named JoJo, she goes through and she casts all the roles with local talent, and they gather at a table and they read it just like you would, just like they do for major Hollywood films. So.
No, that's pretty cool. I would say not many film festivals would do stuff like that besides just showing, the regular short films.
Yeah, and it's unique because the writers really appreciate it. A lot of them just don't get that opportunity to sort of hear their work out loud. So sort of hearing the characters bounce the dialogue back and forth and hear it out loud in general sort of helps them refine their script and see what works and what doesn't work. And also with the films, most of these are only on the festival circuit. So the process is pretty similar for all shorts. These filmmakers, they film them, and then they spend probably a year to sometimes 2 years on the festival circuit before they release them online. And that's sort of an incentive for festivals and moviegoers to go see these because they get to see them first. And sometimes, these don't even get put online, so it's the only opportunity to get to see these.
Yeah, so you've said you started off pretty much as a fan going to these festivals. So what has been your favorite part? You're a director now of the festival, but you obviously have to be a fan just going to these. What has been your favorite part of going to the Snake Alley Film Festival?
Oh, I would say, right. Well, as a director, it's probably seeing or you're hearing an audience's reaction, and I don't know. I've always enjoyed that. Like when you play a really crazy, extreme midnight short, people gasp or applaud or yell at the screen. That's always awesome. And then just meeting all the people who fly in from all over the world you know, a, for a 20-minute short, that they made a year ago. They fly into a little town in Burlington, Iowa, and they come, and everybody's just super nice, and it's really cool to see people sort of network off each other. Like several of the short screenplays that we've had in the as finalists end up being films either the next year or the year after, because these writers come and they hear their screenplay read out loud, and there happens to be a director there at the festival who sits in on the reading. Oh, I really like that screenplay. Hey, we should work together. And they're from the opposite sides of the world. They end up getting together 6 months later and actually shooting that screenplay, and then the next year we have it in our festival, and that's just like one of the coolest things.
No, that is really cool. Another cool thing you guys I see got going on this year, you have a very special guest coming this year. Can you tell us a little bit about who that guest is and what they will be doing at the festival?
Yeah, well, we're bringing Greg Sestero from The Room, and are you guys familiar with The Room, I assume?
Very much so.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, we had Greg at the theater. I also volunteer at our host theater. We had him back in, I think, November, showing his new movies with Tommy called Best Friends, Volume 1 and 2. And when I was talking to him, he's just the nicest guy to work with. And if you're listening to this and you're not familiar with The Room, when you're done listening to this episode, go check it out. It's one of the most absurd, crazy experiences you can see. But, working with him in November was one of the most rewarding. He's just such a nice guy. And, I wanted to work with him again. I said, what can we do for the film festival that would be a lot of fun and unique to get people here, besides just the screening of The Room? Because everyone's seen The Room. Having him there for it would have been cool, but I wanted to do something unique. And he said, actually, I host these live script readings, and so we're doing that on Sunday, the last day, June 23rd. And how that works is he brings the original first draft version of Tommy Wiseau's The Room screenplay before anyone got their hands on it and changed it. So apparently there's a worse version than what made it to screen.
Hard to believe when you actually see that final product that there is a worse version of it.
Yeah, and Greg has a copy of it, and what he does is, he'll send it to me, and we'll cast some of the major roles. Probably here we haven't quite cast them yet, but to be honest, when you watch the movie, it doesn't seem like any of those people were cast until the day of. But the fun of it is that he also will cast some of the minor roles like Denny and some of the other characters. He'll pull them right out of the audience, and they'll go up on stage and read right from the paper, and it sort of adds to the fun element of the movie, because, the movie's full of bad acting, and it seems like these people didn't quite know their lines, so it sort of adds to the element. At least Greg is very self-aware of what this movie is and what the screenplay is, so it almost turns into like a sketch comedy type thing, where we come up and reading the words to the screenplay out loud is almost even more absurd than seeing it in a film. So it's just sort of a fun, crazy thing we're doing, just to sort of celebrate The Room, because love it or hate it, it's just something that's impacted the film culture over the last several years. So.
And you made reference about, people coming up on stage and doing some of the minor bit roles. If anything, that makes for good, audience participation and makes them more involved and makes them, enjoy the festival that much more to know that, they'll probably be back the next year.
Oh, yeah. Last year we had Brian O'Halloran there for the week, and we did a showing of Clerks, and we also, he did a Q&A, but it was awesome. He came for the whole week, and what a nice guy too. But on our first night, we had sort of a technical issue where one of the movies, the feature that we were showing on the first night, would not play on any of the players we had at the theater, so I had to run home and get my personal player. And when I came back to the theater, Brian wasn't even supposed to be there, which is, sort of the joke. I'm not supposed to be here today. But I walk in the theater, and he's up on stage doing an impromptu stand-up set just to sort of buy me time. And people, I think, enjoyed that more so than the movie itself, to be honest. People were just so stoked to be able to see him on stage. And, it's little things like that people remember. So I'm hoping, the room script reading will be one of those things that people talk about and bring him back next year.
Since the room is so culturally significant and it's, I don't know, become something that you could never imagine that would happen to what is ultimately considered the worst movie ever made. So what is your favorite quote or moment from the room?
I mean, it's hard to top the, I did not hit her, I did not. Oh, hi, Mark. That one's obviously the highlight of the movie, I would say, and they sort of focused on that one line in the marketing for the disaster artist. But I also love the weird little things like, oh, hi, doggy, when he pets the dog in the flower shop. Just little things like that are just so, you just, how did it make it onto this, and how did it make it past editing and to this movie? It's just, beyond me. But, he sort of talks about that in the book, and he'll hopefully, you can ask these kind of questions out of Greg, when he's here. So he'll be doing a Q&A after the script reading, and he has a short little documentary he made before the disaster artist was made, and it has a bunch of never seen footage from behind the scenes of making the room. So.
Oh, that's really cool.
Nice. What would you say would be the number one reason why listeners need to come and head across all the way to the other end of Iowa to come see come see the film festival?
Well, I would just say, I mean, it's hard to narrow it down to one, so I will sort of cheat and say just the general idea of getting to see these unique, short, independent films in the same room as the people who make them is really unique. You get to ask them questions. You get to interact with them. I mean, they're just people, so it's sort of cool to, you're sitting right next to someone who made something you might possibly love. And I always tell people who are sort of apprehensive about it, and worst case scenario, if you don't like a movie, it's probably the average movie that we play is probably 10 minutes. So if you can sit through 10 minutes of it, the next one you might absolutely love. We don't necessarily theme our blocks, but we do have an animation block, which is really cool. We've sort of gained a reputation over the last several years of getting some really great animated films from all over the world. And we also it was a happy accident. 2 years ago, I put together a block of all the films that I thought were a little too racy for the general audience. I put them all into one block, and I didn't think it would be an attraction, but it's become like a cult favorite. People like seek out this block, and they've called it, the horror block or the adults only block. And that one's always a lot of fun because the crowd is really crazy. And some of these films are not like things you've ever seen anywhere else. They're just, when a studio's not, sort of hovering over a director, these people can do literally whatever they want. They don't have any type of finances, it's just, nobody's telling them what to do. So that's what I think is the power of these independent shorts, is that you just will not see anything like this in a big chain theater ever. So that's sort of my incentive. Just come see things you'll never see anywhere else.
No, I think that's awesome. It's a great big community event just for people who love film, and you get to talk about film and discuss it and just have a good time watching all these great short content. We have 131 this year.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Yeah.
And you do it over a 3-day stretch, correct?
This year, yeah, Thursday, Friday. We're 4
days.
Let's see, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we're 4 days this year.
All right. So where can they find the festival, and where can they get tickets to it?
Well, you can find sort of everything, including the schedule. You can download the program. You can read about each short film at snakealleyfestivalfilm.com. We're also on Facebook, which we include links and pictures every day. can get tickets at SEIA Tickets, SEIA, like Southeast Iowa, tickets.com. But there's also a link on Snake Alley Festival Film and also on our Facebook page to get tickets. We offer tickets to single blocks where you can get the whole festival. And if you're traveling that far, I would just recommend doing the whole festival because, we go from noon to 10 p.m. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And Saturday we have a bonus block at 10 a.m. That's the animated block. We do, we call it Saturday morning cartoons, and we give out free bowls of cereal, and that's sort of the fun of it. And then Sundays are script reading. We have 3 film blocks in, and every night we have an after party that we all go to with live music and cold drinks and a lot of fun stuff. So that's where you can find us. We're on Instagram at SNAFF Iowa, SNAFF Iowa, and we're on Twitter at the same handle.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll put a link to all these in the description of this video and podcast, so they'll be able to find this pretty easily. So that is June 20th through the 23rd in Burlington, Iowa, so definitely check it out for all you guys listening. And Tadd, thank you so much for being on and getting to discuss the Snake Alley Festival of Film with you.
Thanks for having me on.